going on, everyone? How's everyone out there doing? I hope you are having a wonderful day. Before we get started, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also, hit that post notification bell so you can get notified whenever I upload a video. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about the Ohio's governor's race. And I know you're saying, Steven, the Ohio governor's race is in 2026. It's in 2025. Why does it matter now? It matters now because candidates are still getting in the race, can still get in the race, and a lot has happened in a brief period of time. So, our governor election is next year during the midterm elections. The primary is next year as well, before, of course, the general election. Mike DeWine, the current governor, is term limited. He's term limited. He served the capacity he could. And he's been very quiet, very silent this whole time. For the longest, I thought the successor, the heir apparent to DeWine, was Houston, our former lieutenant governor, and now our U.S. senator. I really did. I believe that. I never once thought he would go to the U.S. Senate. I thought it would be Frank LaRose. I really did. However, that's not what ended up happening. DeWine ended up having Houston go to the Senate, and so he was the first major person who was like, oh, okay, so he's not in the race. Then Amy Atkins announced her run, and she's the only Democrat in the race right now. If you don't know who she was the doctor. She did the stuff during the cough for us. And she's running for governor. And she has two potential challengers. And I think only one of them will run, and then the other one will run for the Senate against Houston. And that's either Tim Ryan or Sherrod Brown. Then you got the Republican side of things. And I heard rumors that Vivek was going to run for governor. And I was like, oh, shoot, when he didn't go into the Trump administration for Doge, I was like, oh, shoot, he's going to run for governor. And he did. He announced his run for governor, and so did Ohio's Attorney General, Frank LaRose. I mean, not Frank LaRose, Dave Yost. A lot of people then did like a pivot to me. I thought that all the statewide officials, most of the statewide officials, would support Yost because he's another state official. They have a relationship with him. That's not what happened at all. Trump's influence in Ohio is major. And people keep downplaying the Trump influence, but the Trump influence is very important. Trump's endorsement in the Ohio Republican Party literally can make or break you. J.D. Vance, like I said, look at J.D. Vance, y'all. J.D. Vance went from in last place in the 2022 Republican primary to the now sitting Vice President of the United States of America because of Donald Trump's endorsement. Because of Donald Trump's endorsement. Look at him. Look at him now. Vivek Ramaswamy skyrocketed as the front runner for the governor's race because of Donald Trump's endorsement. And Dave Yost, who I thought would be the front runner, who I thought every statewide official would endorse, dropped out the race because he didn't have enough support. It was no logical, no realistic way for him to get the nomination because Donald Trump endorsed him, and once Trump endorsed him, Vivek got the state party's endorsement, and he's gotten almost every major state officials except for two. I don't know if Keith Faber has done it yet or not. I'm not sure, but he did not. I know he didn't, and DeWine is staying out of this, and Trussell, of course, they're staying out of this. DeWine, because I guess I don't think he wants Vivek to be the nominee, if we're being honest. Let's be honest, he wanted Houston. He wanted Houston, and he gave Houston the Senate seat to take care of him. But he didn't get what he wanted. He wanted Yost. Yost dropped out because there was no realistic way for him. So Jim Trussell, if he gets in the race, because he has admitted that he's interested in running, he's the only way DeWine can kind of get what he wants. Because I don't think DeWine wants Ramaswamy. I'm going to be honest with you. If he did, he would have endorsed him by now. It's nothing stopping DeWine from endorsing Ramaswamy but DeWine himself. Of course, you got Heather Hill, who's a businesswoman. She's still in the Republican primary, but she wasn't even one of the people considered for the endorsement. It was Joyce and it was Vivek. It was Joyce and Vivek. And like I said, I don't think DeWine wants Vivek. And if maybe he'll prove me wrong. Maybe when I drop this video, maybe he'll go and he'll endorse Vivek Ramaswamy. But as of right now, I just don't see it happening. And like I said, I don't think he wants Vivek. I think he wanted Joyce. He wanted a Houston. He wants Jim Trussell. That's what I think. That's really what I think is going on. But DeWine has no say. He's getting overrun because he's a lame duck governor, number one. And number two, Trump spoke. And like I said, Trump's endorsement means a lot. It means a lot. Bernie Moreno in the U.S. Senate. Why? Because he got the Trump endorsement. And like I said, Vivek is the front runner because he got the Trump endorsement. That's why. That is why. And like I said, the Republican Party then went and endorsed Vivek over Dave Joyce. And that's what happened. And that's why Dave Joyce is out of the race. I do think that Vivek is going to be the Republican nominee. Even if Trussell gets in the race, I still think the Trump endorsement is going to be enough to get Vivek over the hump. And I do think Vivek will win the general election in November of next year unless something major happens. That's what I think is going to happen. Because I don't know who the Democratic nominee is. It could be Amy Atkins, but I doubt she's going to be the only Democrat. I really think Sherrod Brown or Tim Ryan is going to get involved. One of them are going to get involved. And I heard that Sherrod Brown moved to Columbus recently. So that makes me think that more likely Sherrod Brown would get in than Tim Ryan. Or maybe they just both get in and then they have a three-way for the nomination. I think Vivek will have an easier time with Ryan and Amy Atkins than he would with Sherrod Brown. Sherrod Brown will give him the best fight, but I think that he would have an easier time with Ryan and Amy Atkins. But like I said, it's just a lot going on so far with the governor race. So quick little recap of what happened. Vivek Ramaswamy. Well, okay, start off. DeWine is term limited, right? We all think the heir apparent, the successor to DeWine, is John Husted. He appoints him to the U.S. Senate. Then we get into the actual race for governor. We thinking of people like Frank LaRose, all these different people. And then Vivek jumps in. And Vivek jumps in, Dave Joyce jumps in. And then Heather Hill jumps in at some point in there. But she's kind of an outlier. Then all of a sudden, everybody goes and endorses Vivek, all these statewide officials except for a few. Only because the simple fact that Donald Trump endorsed them. And Donald Trump means a lot in the Republican Party in the state of Ohio. On the Democratic side of things, you have Amy Atkins who entered the race. And not only that, you have the potential of either Tim Ryan or Sherrod Brown or both entering the Democratic primary. So let's see what happens. Then, not only do you have all of that to deal with, DeWine has been very quiet during this whole time. DeWine has not endorsed anybody. He has not endorsed Vivek Ramaswamy. And that's something major to me. Because why hasn't he? Does he want Vivek not to be the nominee? There's so many questions, and we're going to get all our answers soon, depending on Jim Trussell. If Jim Trussell gets in this race, we'll see how DeWine feels about Vivek. However, Jim Trussell does not get in this race. We'll see what happens. Another reason why I think someone like Frank LaRose got behind Vivek right away is because Vivek gets to pick who his lieutenant governor is, who his running mate is. Maybe he wants to be his lieutenant governor. I also heard that the Senate president, the outgoing Senate president, Mark Huffman for the state of Ohio, I heard that he might be considered for the lieutenant governor position as well. But you all let me know what your thoughts on this is. Like I said, this is insane so far. Let me know who you think the Republican nominee is going to be. And let me know what you think is going to happen with the Democratic Party. All right, y'all. Until next time, Stephen Connor out, y'all. Peace.